another episode, Ultra Fly Talk.
Saturday.
On a nice Saturday.
Yeah, it's lovely here. Holy hell.
Every degree counts, my G. Every degree counts. But yo, Trent, on our last episode when we started off, I was talking to you about how Jack Frost said "fuck you" and shitting on the city. And even though during that last time, like it was smooth sailing, I got to work safe, everything was everything. But 2 days ago, bro, this last week, Jack Frost truly, Mr. Freeze, all that shit, bro. Santa Claus, he came back with a vengeance for all the bad kids and shit. There was so much snow in Toronto, bro. I was like, so much snow in the sense of, not so much snow where in the sense of deepness, but so much snow in the sense of consistency, like constant. It was just constantly coming, where it was like almost like a whiteout. Like driving, like you can't really, but there wasn't that much of a fucking pile up on the bottom of it. Like on a day like today, 2 days later, it snowed 2 days straight, bro. But anyway, so I'm driving to work, Trent. This shit is real. I'm on the DVP, which is like a little highway within Toronto that like bridges off into the Gardner or 401 on the other end. But I'm going around a bend, Trent, going like maybe 20 or 30 kilometers, which for miles, that's like 10. For you American watchers, it's like not even 10. Bro, I'm sliding. I'm hitting the side of the road and shit. I'm it's like a point where I can't even do anything. I have to just hold the wheel and let my shit mash. Like it's like mashing on the side, sliding out a bit towards the traffic again, then mashing back into the side. And it happened like maybe 10 minutes into my drive. Let's just say it takes me 20 minutes to get to work. Halfway through the mission, bam, 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 I'm sliding and hitting on. I'm like, oh my goodness. Then when my shit stops sliding and smashing into the side of the road, I'm not hitting my side of my car. It's a low platform where I'm hitting the sides of my wheels, bro. So I'm thinking, oh man, I got a pop tire on both sides. I mean, on both, like the front and the back. I'm driving and shit feels normal. So I'm like, okay, we might still be in the game. Driving, get to work. My car is still fine and shit. But like, it was so fucked up because while it's all happening, while like I'm smashing into the shit, like my heart's racing a bit because I'm going slow as fuck, but I have no control over the situation. And there's a small platform, a guardrail, and then like just trees and wilderness and shit. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going fast enough to be hitting with this type of fucking strength, Trent, I can fuck around and roll my shit, not smash and fly over, but roll it to like a point where I might roll my shit over. I'm like, this is nonsense. So I basically was thinking to myself as I was debating with you last time, if I was going to get rid of my car or whatever the case is, I'm definitely going to get rid of this bitch and get a car that has which would have been more helpful, Trent, is if I had all-wheel drive and shit like that. I only had front wheel on this car that I'm in right now. So like the rear wheels that could have propelled me back to a straight path, that shit said, nope, we slide. We
Not today.
Bro, I was fucking hurt. So yeah, man, I get to work. Then I had like one of the worst motherfucking experiences at work and shit. So I was just like, you know what? Not that today's a bad day, because that day was still a good day. I made it safely and shit, and that's what I kept saying to myself. Like, yo, bro, we made it here safe. We good. Other cars were sliding with me. That's why, like it was me sliding, but other cars were fucking around sliding, flying past me. Other cars were sliding too. Like it was just a mixture of people who had different. I was just like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. When it's a fresh snowfall and it's like a whiteout, you can't really see. Fuck these people, bro.
Did you see that video? I don't know how many years ago it was. It was a couple years ago. I think it was on the street in Montreal, but like it was like a bit of a downhill incline. It was completely ice. So it's literally just people trying to stop, but as soon as they hit their brakes, they're just sliding. And then the next people behind them, same. It's so like, and videos like that are on the highway, sort of things like that, where they can't see ahead of them. And then all of a sudden there's just a pile up in front. That shit gives me so much anxiety just watching that. I can't even imagine being in that situation. Like that's so fucked.
Trent, these are the times where I'm just thinking to myself, because don't get me wrong, a little piece of me, and I hate it because it's like, it was definitely my intuition. And even like, as I was talking to my sister before I stepped out or whatever, it was one of those ones where it's like, I was like debating. I'm like, man, maybe I should take the subway today, man. Fuck driving in this nonsense. But then another piece of me is like, you know what, fuck it, bro. Like the way I'm looking at it is like, I'm gonna just take my time. It's gonna be cool. I'm not necessarily gonna be slipping and sliding and acting a fool and shit like that. Next thing you know, I fuck around and I'm slipping and sliding and gliding and shit. I'm just like, this is nonsense. And I knew it was gonna be fucked up because just on the roads to get towards the highway. So that means we're going 40 and under. Everybody is. I'm slipping and sliding, and my shit's hydroplaning, even though it's not water. Well, technically it's water, it's fucking snow, but shit's just hydroplaning while I'm trying to propel myself forward. I'm thinking, yeah, this might not have been the smartest decision. But because I was already on route, I was like, I'm not gonna spin out and fuck around and trying to do a U-turn. Let me just take my time, continue. Because I know when I get to work, the parking lot I'm in is under, like, it's like under a platform. Man's like, so there'll be no snow in there. So hopefully over the time of the day, the snow will calm down and it'll be at least visible when I'm driving home. No, yo, this shit did not. That shit kept snowing and kept snowing and kept snowing. I was like, fuck this shit, bro. Fuck snow. Fuck all that.
Yeah. Like I haven't been leaving the house much, so fuck it. That's a lie. That's actually a complete lie. Ever since the pub opened on Wednesday. Woo!
Oh shit, you've been getting lit? You've been out here drinking with your mask on, like you're pouring the drink through your mask?
No, when you're at the table, you don't have to wear one. When you get up and start walking around, that's when you have to wear one, sort of thing.
That's intense when you think about it, man.
It really is.
Because think about it. Let's just say you and let's just say 4 or 5 other groups are in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their mask off, sitting down, breathing and shit. And then when you get up, you put your mask on and you walk to the bathroom or whatever. And you're thinking to yourself, we was all just breathing in this same air. Why didn't I just get up and walk to the washroom without this damn mask on? Yo, this shit is crazy.
It's wild. Like, it's regulations, right? You can only have like 6 people at a table and stuff like that too. But like, hey, I'm okay with it. I'm just happy to be back out and like doing things again, even, you know, what it is. Strip clubs open and everything too. Like, yeah, like nothing.
Yeah, see, that's fucked. These guys said the strip club. Fuck the nonsense. My man said the strip club. Trent, that is a recipe for disaster, bro. That is literally a recipe for disaster. Yep. Like, fuck the nonsense. Have a shorty come to your crib. You talking about going to a place, even with the pubs, like, for example, I'll be working at a hospital and shit. We at lunch, like at certain tables, we can only have one person at a table.
Mm-hmm.
And motherfuckers is talking about, yeah, let's collectivize and have 6, 7, 8 people at this table, 6, 7, 8 people at this table, 4 people at this table. It's like, all right, bro, you guys don't give a shit. Did you have to give all your information and shit when you went in?
Yeah, you got to sign in everywhere you go. You got to put your name and your phone number, sort of thing. So I guess if there's no break, hey, you fucking stay home, sort of thing, or whatever. I don't know how that works, but whatever.
They probably call you and tell you to go get tested, but that's kind of wild when you think about it, bro.
It really is. Like, there's not a lot of logic to it, but like, whatever.
That's the thing. I was talking to a homie at work, one of the older porters and shit. This guy was talking to me about how like there's no regulations as far as like they're saying like they're putting regulations in place, so to speak, but there's no like common clear cut for everybody to be following as far as them saying, okay, like we're gonna have a 2-part vaccine, and then after people take the first part and then they hit you with we have a shortage of the second part, and then you're sitting there saying to yourself, what the heck, wait a minute, why did I take the first part then if there was no like second part to my first part? Shit like that. I'm just saying, it's unclear. It's
back in high school, did you get vaccinated for Hep B as well too?
As fucked up as it is, bro, I think I got vaccinated for that bitch in 7th grade.
Yeah. That's what I meant. There was one. I remember there was one. They did 2 at the same time, but they did it on each arms.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would they do that if they needed 2-part 1, 2 at the same time? I don't know how things work though. So there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't want to fuck around and kill you, even though this is all fucking experimental anyway. They don't want to fuck around and kill you just right on the spot. But then you hear people getting
fair enough.
But then you hear people getting the vaccine, and it's like as if they fucking perished not too long after. Not everybody, but some people. And it's like, well, fuck, man, the vaccine, in my opinion, just like the flu shot, the same shit as far as a variant of it, or they can't say it's an older version of it because this shit is still quote unquote new. So you guys must be taking the same exact strain and putting it back in motherfuckers and basically, all right, yo, fight. Basically saying round 1 fight. Hayukin. All you hear is all types of Hayukins and fucking nonsense like that within your body, bro.
Finish him.
Yeah, that's basically, I got Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all that shit, bro.
Man, I grew up on that shit. That's hilarious. Did you see they put a trailer out for because they're making a new one. There's
Oh
a new
shit.
Mortal Kombat movie coming out. I have not seen the trailer for it, but all my
That's what I was
friends
gonna
have lost
say.
their mind.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. As fucked up as it is, I haven't seen the trailer either. But like as I was scrolling through YouTube and different like shit like that, different apps, I'll see Instagram and shit. I'll see like little trailers for it and shit, or little like thumbnails for it or whatever. I just have a trailer. Either way, man, that shit might be lit, bro. Like that shit might be.
It's gonna be better than the one in '95. The one in '95 is pretty fucking ridiculous. But honestly, I watched it again like last year, I think, something like that, and just that start, like they pull up like it's New Line, I think, made it right. So you have the New Line thing coming up, and they hear Mortal Kombat, and then the fucking theme song kicks. Yo, that got me so fired up. It wasn't even funny. It was just like, all right, let's fucking go with this movie, see what happens. And it was like, okay, they could have done a lot better with it, but they could have done a lot worse with it too. Video game movies are mostly a miss from like history, anyways.
I don't know, man. Like the attention to detail, like how people create things, how these things are morphed. It makes you like, as far as us two being creatives, it makes you think what else can be created from that, what else can be interwoven into society from that, but from our brains, knowing that these things already existed, taking it and going somewhere further with it. That's why when you showed me that song earlier, the Highwaymen and shit, and I was saying, bro, we got to trip out, and I want to make like a film where we tripping and shit, bro.
I'm
like,
down. I'm so down.
Trent, you have more like, because I remember in university reading that motherfucking poem, The Highwayman, about how my man had his pistol and his rapier by his side, the fucking that short sword / blade.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm ready to, how he held up all types of stage. Like, bro, if you have any details on the Highwaymen or how they function, please elaborate, because like, let them know why that would be such a dope ass idea as a movie.
The band and song, or the original like Highwaymen, like back in the day sort of thing?
Yeah, like the ones back in the day who used to like rob stagecoaches and shit.
So it kind of got like they were like the Jesse James back in the day. That's the only way I can put like any like equation to it. And that's what you're saying. That's the first version, the first verse, pardon me, of that song was Willie Nelson talking about being an actual like one of them Highwaymen. So they would just wait along like where the stagecoaches and other things would go by, and they would hold it up and rob people of their riches and whatnot. And that's basically it. I don't know too much about like stuff like that, but God, just some names that come to mind, like Dick Turpin. He was a famous one I don't really know much about, but like it was just a culture of that too. You read Henry IV, didn't you? In university with Falstaff.
I was gonna say, bro, I actually didn't read Henry IV, but the reason why, but regardless, even you trust me, I want you to elaborate on that in a second. But the reason why I was even saying like to bring up the Highwayman, like, for people who don't know, like, just the idea of like a rogue, we can even bring it back a little further than the Jesse Jameses, like to like where like motherfuckers is wearing like the puffy white shirts with the red long trench coat with the he has multiple shots in his like on his person, but it's the single shot musket or whatever, you know what I mean? Like with the rapier, like, which is like a small kind of half-size sword /
It's more of like a fencing sword.
Yeah, but it's the ability to fuck, like, because it always had like gem encrusted handles on them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
That type of shit fascinates me, because it's like he was like a cowboy before a cowboy. You know what I mean? Or in context,
outlaws.
Yeah, like more or less like an outlaw. Like, but I'm kind of romanticizing it, but I'm saying like even to romanticize it and make it work, because in the poem that I read in university, it was more or less just like that he, like him and the Baron's daughter hadn't, like, they were seeing each other, but the Baron didn't like it. So because he was also robbing the Baron's different coaches that the Baron would be sending out with his friends in it or whatever after they leave his house or whatever. He'd rob them and steal their riches or whatever. And it's like, so you're dating my daughter and you're robbing from me type of shit, or stealing from the people I know or whatever. But it's like just that idea, bro, of going into like just being, but then thinking about it in like they kind of do it in an everyday, like in today's society, like when they do movies, when it's almost like the Bonnie and Clyde type shit, they but the woman's obviously in on it. But with the Highwaymen, like Buddy would just be on his horse going after he just robbed the stagecoach, and there's mad sheriffs and shit behind him riding on their horses trying to catch this motherfucker. And if ever they did catch him, they'd be hanging him and shit like that. Like shit like that, where it's like, that's why it's like almost on some Legend of Zorro type shit. You know
Robin
what I mean?
Hood.
Just Robin Hood, just on some, but obviously Highwaymen didn't necessarily give to the needy after they stole from the rich, but you could romanticize it. I'm just saying you can romanticize it if you wanted to, right? As far as I'm just saying shit like that's dope. But please, if you had your breakdown of Henry IV or that you were trying
to right. So like we were talking about just how like the idea of like robbing people and stuff like that. There's a scene of that in Henry IV where he sets up Falstaff to go rob somebody, and then they rob Falstaff afterwards. That was all I was going to make with that. But it's just interesting to like, it's just interesting how these people like, and their deeds get romanticized through the years because of the creative types and stuff like that. Like Jesse James got that Robin Hood type persona, even though he really wasn't like anything to do like that. He just robbed for his own riches sort of thing. But then there's people like Pretty Boy Floyd, who during like the Depression and like those gangsters like during that era, like Babyface Nelson and I cannot remember his name right now. Oh my god, that's gonna piss me off. John Dillinger and stuff like that. But Pretty Boy Floyd would rob them, but he would not only rob the banks, he would also burn up mortgages and debts, like the papers and stuff like that. So it would wipe out just people's debts he didn't even know about. You know what I mean? Don't know how much truth there is to that, but still.
Granted, there was some truth to that. That's a dope motherfucker right there, bro. How you gonna be like? That's almost like he's the original Buddy who hacked into the student loans thing in recent years and deleted some of that. He's the original OG, bro. Like, I'm just saying that's dope as fuck. When those types of situations, granted, there's truth to it. There's when those types of situations happen, bro. I'm just saying, like, again, for the people watching, you might be thinking, like, why are they talking about the Highwaymen and this, that? Bro, it's because motherfuckers go, like, there's a lot of people in context doing this type of shit. Obviously, they're not known or recognized because they're trying to be in the shadows as far as different hackers and shit, anonymous and shit like that. But I'm saying that type of idea just fucking it like entices me. Like it makes me think, like, in the sense of, granted, you could get away with like you could rob the city blind or rob the treasury blind. Like, but I'm thinking back in those days, how you said like Buddy would wait in the shadows for a stagecoach to drive by and then and ride out on his horse and start tripping out and start firing on the fucking whatever, however him and his crew would take it down. That type of shit's dope because it's like, not saying the act of violence, but I'm saying, granted, if it was for like, he only robbed stagecoaches of dudes who did some savage, heinous shit or whatever, you know, like, just, I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to make a movie as an idea, like, he was more of a hero, even though he was a highwayman, he was trying to feed his family, and there was this one little sick kid in the village he was trying to feed or whatever. I'm just saying, throwing out some random ass little plot ideas, but I'm just saying, bro, like, that type of shit would be dope in today's day and age, only because, like, you see it. How I could kind of equate it, fucked up as it is if you've ever seen Django.
Yes.
With Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah.
For example, escapes his way out the plantation, and then starts whooping ass and goes back as a quote unquote freed man, like at least that's the role he's playing, and then he eventually gets his wife and shoots that whole shit up and just trips. Bro,
oh yeah,
that's a highwayman if I've seen one. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Shooting up the fucking, like, the stagecoaches or whatever that had like all the slaves in it, but a white dude was driving, running up on him and firing it off on him and freeing motherfuckers and shit. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying from that standpoint too. Like, there's also that other twist on it where, like, the Nat Turners of the world. I'm saying Django as a fictional, but even like the real Nat Turners of the world, bro. That's a lit situation as far as
rebels. It's what it is. It's just straight rebellion.
Rebel. Yeah, there's the underdog rebel. Yeah, the underdog rebel who fucks around and gets to the top. If you can, explain to the people what that means, bro.
So that's from Henry IV. Actually, it's weird in context because it's actually the villain, so to speak, in Henry IV part 1. But it's one of his things he says to his troops before the battle, and if we live to tread on kings. But the second part to it is, if we die, brave death when princes die with us. So if they go out there and they win, they take down the king. If they lose, well, they're going to at least take out the next generation or whatever, so they'll fall down the line, sort of thing. I don't know. I was just like that idea of just like that kind of rebellion, just like, hey, we're going to go out, and if we win, it's ultimate victory. If not, we're still going to take out something on their end, so they know, like, so somewhere down the line they're completely fucked over somehow by it. But yeah, that's why I got that one there.
Oh, it's dope, man. It's like it's something to think about. But even like looking at it from a standpoint, yeah, like if we win, like we go on to tell the stories, we go on to hold up the golds and the riches and move forward. It's like, but if we die, it's almost on some Ivan Drago shit where it's like, if we die, we die. But somebody coming with me type shit.
Pretty much.
Just put it in some hoods, put it into some hood terms. But yo, I don't know, man. I'm just, as we're getting more creative, as we're getting older and shit, bro, like these are the types of things that I genuinely like. The ideas of building something from sometimes things of past, but even creating something new. You know what I mean? It might not be the Highwayman I'm thinking of, may not be in the form of like, if everyone were to make a movie about it, it might not be in the form of a traditional dude riding a horse, whatever, but it might be in the futuristic type buddies wearing a fucking, like on some Tron. You saw that movie Tron where they're riding those light cycles and shit?
Damn.
Buddy might be on something like that.
Some cyberpunk shit.
You know what I mean? Just fucking racing through the future, just overtaking whatever he has to overtake, just to fucking the corruption that's within the I don't know, the system or whatever you want to call it. You can't call it the Matrix.
Netflix, hit us up. Fuck, we got ideas.
Bro, that's the real, hey? Let them know, Trent. Netflix, hit your boys up. Hit your boys up, bro.
Man.
But yeah, it's just something to think about.
Oh, definitely. I just, that song really, just the idea of just like how it just like there's like the spirit or so just keeps living and through different generations. And the original song, like it's all about like, it starts out with Highwaymen, but then it talks like dam builders and like workers and stuff like that. And at the end, it's a space pilot of all things. It's just like, it's just interesting. And then the Highwaymen, obviously, that retake on it and everything else from there. But like, it's just that spirit of like living throughout the years, and just that spirit that's not going to be taken despite like your physical form being taken. It's going to keep going throughout the years, and somebody else is going to take it up, sort of thing.
And also the fact that the whole, at least like at the last part where my man's saying like he's trying to find peace and shit as he's flying through the galaxies and shit, that's the type of shit where it's like almost like a restless soul. And then at the end, granted, it finds peace. It's like, all right, bro, I can rest. But how my man's talking about how you gonna come back as a drop of rain, bro. That shit, that's how that shit be getting all emotional and shit, because you're like thinking like, damn, you might come back as a leaf in the wind, you know, as a leaf meant to fall off a tree and just float in the wind on some spiritual shit. But it's like, if you believe in those type like energies and different things like that, and spirits and the soul and being transferred and never destroyed type shit, even though the physical may fall, bro. If you transition, I would hope that you'd want to transition into a more beautiful horizon, opposed to, you know what I mean? Some just ongoing spiral of despair. You don't feel any peace. You just constantly going through having like your experiences every time you travel and end in a new experience or end in a new form. You're just tripping, bro. That'd be unfortunate. Granted, you believe in that, you know.
Oh, I hear you.
Dope idea. It's a fucking
such a calming idea too.
Yeah, that whole concept of how the Highwaymen, like which one you like, for people, you can go and check out the song, bro. Like Trent, you might know like the name of the group or whatever. Like
the Highwaymen.
It's just that's what they were called.
The Highwaymen.
Okay, straight up.
Name of the song, name of the band. It's kind of handy that way.
I mean, fuck, that's what it is. That's probably, obviously, like we've kind of been talking about this for a little bit. That's probably gonna be this episode. What the theme of this episode is, bro. Like the straight up, like on some just
one of my grandfather's favorite songs.
It's what it is, because it makes you think on some real shit where you're like, they were like obviously a little bit less civilized times, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
People were out here just getting how they live, running up on stagecoaches, firing off, shooting dudes off their horses, and then jumping on the horse and riding it into the next town or whatever. Shit like that was real. Like the horse knew its owner, obviously, but once you shot him off and you jumped on it and started riding it, now the horse is just tripping. Somehow it just adapts to you. It's just like, but you think about these things, Trent, and then you're like, damn, it's super interesting because it's like, though it's as simple as saying, oh, it was just violent horse riding violence, but it's like the concept and the thought and like how you might apply it and how Buddy's waiting in the bushes and he does that and accumulates 28 bags of gold or whatever the case is and fuck around and buys his own, I don't know whatever different type of like grand housing they had back then. I don't know if it's a manor or whatever you'd call
Probably.
it.
Something like that.
So if you're doing it back in times where there's barons and kings and shit, you buying land and castles and shit. Shit's wild, bro. Because it's almost like the same type of shit happens now. It's just Buddy's obviously not on the Highwayman's not on a horse. The young tech tycoon who starts off with a small app and it grows into $1 billion empire or whatever, right? Like that's technically like a Highwayman.
I mean, if you want to look at it that way, but
or for example, like a Master P, if you're familiar with who Master P is from No Limit.
Oh yeah.
A young man doing his thing, whether it's real life, getting his education, whether it's doing his thing in the streets. I don't know his business. I'm just saying. Then he eventually gets to the point of he plays in the NBA for a little bit. He is, regardless of the length of it, he's producing a superstar son. He's doing this, that. He's doing this, that. He's growing. He's the only one to accomplish a record label, major label deal where he gets 85% of it, and the record label gets 15. And I'm just saying, like he was doing some next level shit, unheard of shit at the time. And then you're thinking to yourself, like the way how he's doing it. I'm saying, not that no one's ever gotten raises or
no, I get what you mean.
Just the way how he's doing it, and it's just like it makes you think like there are some of those people among us. Not saying it like they're some type of superhero, but I'm saying it in the sense of just free, rebellious, I'm doing what I can in this world type people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you have any examples of, or even if you yourself feel like you adapted that motherfucking moniker or whatever.
Oh, I don't know about that. Not at this point in the game right now, but I just out here, man. I'm just me. That's all I can claim to be.
Yeah.
That's it. The only thing, anything close to that is actually I'm just looking wearing this guy's shirt. I'm a G and an outlaw, and I hang out with G's and outlaws. That's how it works.
Straight up. Straight up. That's how it works for real. Yo, what are you thinking though, Trent? Where do you have anything that on your mind or anything that like sparked your interest of recent that you might want to talk about? Or
honestly, man, not right now. I'm just out here just fucking living to the next day at this point. Oh, like one step at a time. Like when we like the Highwaymen was all I really wanted to talk about, because I was, as soon as you sent me that cover version, I'd never heard that version before of it. I was like, okay, here we go. This is how we're starting the day off.
That's what it turns into though, right? Because
Exactly.
it's like certain adaptations, like when they're paying homage or whatever, it's like this is pretty dope. Like this is pretty, even like the High Woman or whatever, right?
Exactly.
It's a different approach it's a different approach, man. And I appreciate, it's like certain songs and certain like a few episodes back when we talked about the sea shanties and things like certain things that invoke emotion or invoke something real within you. Allow that shit to, for the people listening, allow that shit to like brew and allow that shit to resonate within you and just take it in for whether it's art or whether it's whatever, like allow that shit to just resonate. Because once you like rush on to the next moment, like that piece, like listening to music and shit, like allowing it to put you into a certain mental zone and just like almost like a freeing zone, like where you just stop time for a second.
Vibe.
It's fucking dope, man. Opposed to listening to a song and being like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? He could have done this better. He could have done that better. It's like, it's not about that, bro. Like it's allow yourself to embrace moments. And even like if it's just on your day to day, Yes, you may have something planned for tomorrow. Yo, I gotta go to work tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. When I get to work, I gotta talk to such and such. But at the same time, be in the moment today, because like, and allow yourself, because it's like, live for today. Like, don't be out here too far in the future, like almost on some Highwayman type shit. Like,
I'll send you that song afterwards. That song, "Live for Today." It's a great song.
straight up. I'll fuck around with, blaze some herbs and vibe out to it. But yeah,
Definitely
man,
a song for that.
but I'm just saying, because it's like the beauty of that, in my opinion, just being like, yo, man, I'm just living for today. You know what I mean? Yes, you want to be like, yeah, man, I got big moves in the making, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, it's like, you being so focused on the future, you're not even understanding that the right now is what's important.
Mm-hmm.
For your mental health, physical health. You trying to be in the future too much, in my opinion, that type of shit can bring in anxieties and different types of shit like that, where you don't necessarily need that stress. As you're approaching, like, as you're, okay, if you have like something like where it's like, oh, it's the 10th, and you're like, on the 17th, I'm going to sign a deal for X, Y, and Z. Okay, will you just take your time and live each day, and be as healthy as you can each day, and get as enough rest as you can, and God willing, hopefully you get to wake up that next morning and you don't get perish in your sleep, and when the 17th comes, you sign your deal. But having it where you're just like stressing and anticipating, and yo, man, I hope they don't take that shit back, and blah 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 blah, and I hope this deal doesn't fall through. You doing all that type of shit, opposed to just still enjoying your time, going out with your lady, having a good time each day, or whatever the case is. Do that shit, bro. Be in the moment, be in the now, on some Highwayman type shit. Whether it's you robbing a stagecoach or you enjoying the fucking riches with your lady. Like, be in the now, yo. Try to holler at the people, bro. Let them know a few things, and let them know some of the other like the Ultra Fly Talk and different episodes that you've been working on or that you just posted. Let them know.
Oh shit, yeah, they're all up there on my account, Uplift Ultra, and then on Create Fly on his account. We've got I've got that. Yeah, I did a podcast last week with another guy for Uplift Ultra, but yeah, everything's up there.
Yeah,
Links will be in the description of this one, man, for sure. And yeah, check out this motherfucker's music. It's amazing.
Hey, bro, we out here. It's more, I genuinely appreciate that, man. Like, I'm only getting better. And don't get me wrong, somebody might listen to some stuff and be like, yo, man, this stuff sounds better than. Hey, man, I'm just getting better. All I can say is I'm getting better. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's all we can do.
If you're listening to something from 2015 and then you're saying, oh, yo, you've improved so much, I appreciate that, because that's what I'm trying to do. Just keep improving. Trent, and some new stuff's coming soon, hopefully before the end of this month, but it's not going. That's another thing I'm trying to say quickly before we get out of here is, with me personally, bro, I got a timeline, and God willing, bro, that timeline's gonna hit. As far as, not saying I'm focusing on the future on some high shit. I'm saying, like, I'm working every day to get to a point, and granted, I get to a point each day. I'm out that bitch in a certain timeline, in a certain time. Like, and I'm not saying it because I'm not trying to announce shit and it doesn't fall through. But I'm just saying that's what my intentions are. Because, bro, the things we do to get to like where we have to get to is what molds us and our character. But at the same time, some other shit can try to alter us and deter us off that path, and we can't let it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, like, I don't want to get comfortable and let something alter me off the path I genuinely believe I'm supposed to be on. And I feel, because certain moments allow me to know it's real. So that's why I'm just thinking to myself, okay, in a certain timeline, I'm taking my time and getting out of the quote unquote workforce. And it's all happening slowly but surely. I have to keep discipline. But Trent, hey, bro, we out this thing, bro. We tripping. That was dope. I appreciate the conversation.
Always.
To the people listening, it's all peace and love.